My dear, you've come. I confess I didn't think you would. Why not? Well, after all the secrets I've kept from you, despite how much you've shared with me about yourself, I suppose I expected you to become frustrated, demand the truth, and perhaps leave when you didn't believe me when I told you. It's happened before. You do want the truth. Good. That's exactly what I called you over for. The time has come for you to know the truth of who and what I am. Come in. Thank you, Frederick. Go to the servants' quarters and fetch Mary Ann. Tell her to come to the ballroom in 10 minutes. Please, take my arm. I'd like to take you for a walk. Yes, to the ballroom. You always were quick on the uptake. I understand your anxiety to know more. I'll explain as we go. Now, come. Yes, you can see my house has been standing here for some time. It dates back to the early 1800s, give or take. I purchased it in the late 1910s, or thereabouts. Yes, I am that old. Older still, in fact. I was originally born Jack Benjamin Orwell in the year 1857. My family were Irish immigrants to America who came up the hard way, dooming them to a maudlin fate as mere working class pariahs. For me, that changed on the day of my 25th birthday, when I was approached by a man named Francis McGuire, who offered me a new path as his apprentice. It ultimately led to my current state, and to adopting the identity of a landed gentleman and taking possession of this house. I named myself Jack-o'-lantern. A simple enough change, and one that I hoped many people would not raise an eyebrow at. See those portraits all along the wall? All of the O-Lantern men who've taken possession of this house. Yes. Yes, they all bear the title Lord O-Lantern as well. Do you notice any children, or even brothers, in the frame with them? Yes, you've got it right. I passed the deed of this house on to myself many times, passing myself off as the son, brother, or nephew of the former Lord O-Lantern. I took many women as my wife or girlfriends over the years, but all of them would eventually die or leave me as the passage of time caught up to them, but not me. Yes, it did hurt. In fact, it hurt me enough that I forsook romance altogether, or at least I swore to. That proved impossible. So, I sought to find a partner who would join me in this eternal life. Ah, here we are. Tell me, how much do you know about ballroom dancing? Not much? Oh, don't worry. I don't plan on performing any complicated maneuvers. I simply wish for us to have a little closeness while I'm sharing the rest of my secrets with you. Yes, that's an old gramophone. It will play the music for us. Not at all the most efficient music-playing device in the world, but perhaps my old heart still has a soft spot for the world I left behind 100 years ago. Let me take a few seconds to wind it. Now, come here. Take my hand and put the other on my shoulder. Yes, like that. Now, let's take a few simple steps. Follow my lead. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. 1, 2, 3, step. Yes, now you're getting it. Now, I'm going to make a turn around. You put your foot between my feet and do your best to keep your body parallel with mine as I do so. 1, 2, 3, and turn. Yes, excellent. You're a natural at this, darling. Now, to the rest of my secrets. By now you have probably figured out that I am not an ordinary mortal man. Even quite putting aside my extraordinarily long lifespan. If my strange appetites for ripe meat dipped in strange sauces were not enough, no doubt you have noticed other things about me. My hands are always cold, even in the warmth of summer. The gleam in my eye, when speaking to others and asking them to do something for me, which they always accept without hesitation. The fact that I prefer to stay indoors at home, unless it is very late or the sun is going down, despite how much it inconveniences me to do it, and you. Perhaps you've even smelt something off in metallic in the house, but were too polite to inquire about it. Yes, I thought so. You're certainly quite on the ball, my dear. I won't insult your intelligence by denying it, any of that. Instead, I'll give voice to your suspicions. All these little things that have likely been nagging at you for weeks and months since we met. They may not have all added up, but you knew I was more than I appeared. It's true. I am a vampire. Ah, they've come. These, Frederick, Marianne, my servants, they are constructs. They were built in the image of my former master's servants, by an artificer years ago. In my leaner years, they were the only companions I had in this long existence. They do not age, but they also have no personality to speak of. They do not speak, they do not sleep, they never even die. I cannot imagine such an existence. You seem to be taking all this rather well. You're not surprised? I admit I was expecting something a little more incredulous. What? Your sister's friend is a werewolf? Well, I knew they existed from past experience, but I didn't think you would know they existed or be acquainted with one. Is that why you never asked about my strange qualities? Did you perhaps think I was a werewolf? You didn't, but you believed I would tell you when I was ready, when you were ready. Well, you should know that I never wanted to lie to you. Certainly not to the extent that I have. And for what I have already told, I am sorry. Alas, if I were to go around advertising that I was a vampire, be it as simple as informing people why my hand was so cold when they shook it, or something as crass as shouting, "Blah! I want to suck your blood!" Well, suffice it to say, finding myself trapped in an underground bunker, being studied by scientists, would be the best possible outcome. But if you are this calm about it, and because you are so accepting of it, I have a question for you.
Ah, and here I was hoping it would be something dangerous and scary. Instead, it is my little nephew. Hello, Jack.
Ah, hello, Gunhilder. You've the gleam in your eye of one expecting company. Anyone I know?
No, probably not. One of those pesky vampire hunters. I always enjoy crossing plates with them. It's charming, really, seeing him constantly run back with some newfangled weapon or technique he's convinced himself I haven't seen or know how to counter. I've only been on this earth nearly 1,200 years. What do I know, huh?
And so you simply let him into your house, do you?
What did I always tell you? Good enemies are hard to find. Sadly, he's the only consistent foe I've had in years. So many others just give up and leave halfway through. The world's gone so soft.
Perhaps that is something left to discuss over a pot of bloodwort tea some other time. For now, I'd like you to meet my lady friend. She is very dear to my heart.
A pleasure. A pleasure. I'm Gunhildr, formerly of Ulfsbjörk. And before you ask, yes, I am a Viking by birth. No, I am not.
Don't worry, Aunt Hilda. I told her everything on the way here. She knows better than to ask about the wings.
Ah, then we can skip the jokes and get to the matter at hand. What brings you here, nephew?
Well, my honorary aunt, as I said, my beloved here is dear to me, dear enough that I offered her to join me in the life eternal, and she accepted. So, I came here to ask you...
Ah, nay.
Nay?
No.
Yes, that's what nay means. But why not?
I no longer turn mortals, Jack. She doesn't know what she's asking for, even if you're giving her a pleasant spin on it. Ours is a life of torment, and I won't allow any more fools to join us in it, then come crawling back, complaining about the consequences, even when I warned them what would happen.
I suppose you have a point, or two. But, on the other hand...
What? What are you thinking?
You know that favor you owe me?
Oh, do I? You've held it over my head for 70 years and counting.
Well, I'm calling that favor in.
And I'm... what?
I understand your concerns, Aunt Hilda. I too remember the ecstasy of discovering I was immortal, and the horror of realizing what I had lost as the years wore on. But we care for each other, and I am equipped to tutor her in our ways. All I ask is that you do this for me, and that long favor will be done.
Very well then. I'll do it. A warrior honors a promise made, no matter how painful.
You have my thanks, truly. Come, my dear, let us go into a side room. Give her time to gather some ash wood.
It is for your coffin. Your body will need time to adjust to your transformation, and you will need a place to rest and retreat to if you are ever badly hurt. Now, everything's scattered and ready. The coffin is being finished as we speak. Is she ready?
Yes, I've been telling her stories about the hunters we fought together over the years. I was just telling her about the last hunter we fought, in fact.
Well, I hope she got a steelier nerve than the hunter. Pathetic little girl. Just about to wet herself and ran home crying to her mother.
Alas, not a fight to be proud of when we won in a mere 20 seconds. But such things are best left in the past. Now, we are ready.
Okay, little girl. I'm going to bite your neck now. I am going to drain your blood, all of it, and feed you some of my own to revive you. The process will be difficult, but if you are as strong as he thinks you are, you'll survive. Sort of. And be reborn as my daughter.
Don't worry. I'll be right here holding your hand the entire time.
Now, close your eyes. Sit up straight. And show me your pretty neck. Yes. There you go.
Ah, there you go. The first pain is over. Shh, 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 shh. Stay calm. Stay calm, my dear. I'm right here. And I'll still be right here when she's finally done.